For my feet. Anywhere. It's nice.
And her tail's going around. You gotta go up over the top.
Yeah. More today on and Ruby.
We have a problem at one.
Yeah. That's the way I feel this morning. That's the way I feel this morning.
Okay.
That's somebody's.
Okay.
And I'm broken reins.
Oh.
Okay.
There's no way.
So I picked that one up. I don't know who it was.
Does anybody else feel like they're horseback in a stampede? They broke their reins and everything is just gassing it, but you resigned yourself to the fact that there's nothing you can do about it, so why not just enjoy the ride? Just go. Just kick and see if they'll go faster.
Yeah, big problem.
No, I'm enjoying the ride this morning.
Oh, God.
I've never heard that analogy.
No, that's,
Sounds true.
That's the way, yeah, it's been that way for 3 or 4 hours this morning.
I've been
When
there.
did you start?
I've been there on the phone, you just.
When my 5-year-old pokes me in the cheek and says, "Dad, are you awake?" And then he says to me earlier this morning, "Want to go play football?" So we went play football in the living room.
Oh.
He would have gone outside if I'd let him.
That's not tough enough to go out.
Not my shirt tail.
Not in the morning.
My joints didn't work good enough this morning to play football.
Morning wind, that was blowing.
Yeah, it was.
Really blowing.
Takes me an hour for my knees start working.
That's right.
No second now.
They're steady.
When the ding.
Start.
They're gonna run out of here.
I should just clear my breath. Take care of you. Send it away. I don't want to be there.
All right, here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bob, you got.
Bladed some roads, hauled some gravel, cleaned a few counter. Waiting for winter. I don't know if it's coming.
The Calgary weren't frozen.
Place in the nation but us. Right.
He's had a long time up in the big hole.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody keeps saying, "You're blading in the middle of it." Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anderson, Vaughn, the dust out there, there's no moisture, it's just. Trying to keep Anderson a little bit, because some of the semis don't want to go through the detour, I don't blame them. Go along.
Tom.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot, no, Nick Holmes isn't gonna be in this morning, he's in one of the trucks. They had that other truck that they had go down here a week ago up and running, and things are flowing pretty smooth out there. We engineered a solid waste board addressing different things out there, which went well, and sanitation stuff, just staying up on permits and property inquiries and all that good stuff, and DES just kind of working on the normal and the generator projects and all that. And nothing too exciting right now.
Jack,
As of Friday, we had 167 4-H kids sign up. 15th is the last day to sign up. I won't be here next week because at 10 a.m. I defend my master's research project. It's a WebEx thing, but I'm going to be freaking out from probably 9 to about 11:30, 1 o'clock. So ready to get that done. I've been in college for 10 years. I'm over it. Turning in our grant to the Western Region Extension and Risk Management Education Center for the E-rail trailers, the emergency response involving livestock trailers. I'm waiting on them to send me one last piece of paperwork I have to fill out. So hopefully I get it by Thursday when the grant's due. But other than that, just chugging along, seeing what comes in the door.
You got a doctor?
Hmm?
You a doctor?
No.
Justin?
Electrical projects got done this last week. The breeding barn is off the green light. I'm going to be replacing the roof on all my tool sheds this week. Other than that, it's pretty slow right now.
Mike?
Well, I think the Rightly and the Wisdom schools will be back in session. They went to Washington DC, and I expect a lot of pictures and stories from the kids next time I get out there.
Sounds like they're having fun. I've seen pictures.
Yeah, good. And I'm going to go to a conference. Harmony Educational Services is a deal out of Utah, and some schools here in Montana are using it to bring homeschoolers back into the public schools to, it increases the student enrollment at the schools, which brings up the money that comes from the state, and the kids still get to do the things that their parents want them to do, as well as the state required classes that they have to do. So I'm going to a conference on that. It's either going to be Thursday or Friday. Just haven't heard word yet. Other than that, it's pretty quiet.
All right, Stacy?
Last week the election went really well. We were out of here by about 9 o'clock, which is probably the first in as long as I can remember anyway that we've been out federally. So thanks to my amazing staff and also the county judges. We're working on the canvas right now. Be in front of you guys next week for that. And Tracy got my other monitor, community security camera monitor, hung on the wall last week for me too. So thanks Tracy for that. So that's what I got.
Amber?
Working on today on a presentation. So Wednesday, we have the Montana Noxious Weed Advisory Council meeting, Trust Fund Council, and all of the task forces for the new invaders are presenting. So I'll present the Dyer's Vote project Wednesday. And then Thursday afternoon, Friday, I'm actually hoping to be gone, take off for a pig conference in Missoula. And then Friday night, we have a weed whacker ball meeting. So week's kind of slow, but not slow.
Last week we had our boiler inspection for the internal part of it. We passed, no issues there. I talked to Mike from West Electric. We have the cables that came in for the generator and the rest of the piping that they have to run. And then once they get that figured out, then we can put the generator on the pad and then start slowly getting that figured out with Northwest Energy to get it transferred over. We can get that going. Other than that, it's just kind of been busy.
Okay, planner?
I got a couple
Oh,
of. Okay.
go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, go ahead, Glenn.
Yep, sorry.
I've got a couple of minor subdivisions coming through to you guys, one this week, one probably the next 2 weeks. Karen, Ally will be here this week to do training on Thursday for us, the equipment recorder and the planning board. And then DNRC has some floodplain training also this week on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is just a virtual training for everybody up to speed. So that's it.
Go ahead, Judge.
All right, let's see, last week we had a small claims trial. We've got another one coming up this Thursday. Those are just real informal in my courtroom before me, no jury or anything. But we do have a Russian bench trial this Friday for a trucker. We're gonna pull a jury for a trial on December 17th. We're pulling 30 jurors on Wednesday of this week. And then we have another bench trial in Pushpa. Didn't know that was a language. So that's coming up at the beginning of December. And we've got some order of protection hearings this week, and some people who haven't been complying with their sentence orders are being revoked. We're supposed to have an evidentiary hearing today to decide if we revoke that person or not. So staying busy. And then on a personal note, anyone in here who is a veteran, former military, active reserves, first responders, I hope that you will join us Tuesday night at 6 p.m. at the Frontier Event Center. My daughter's part of the Silhouettes, and their performance is so powerful.
I was saying,
Stacy
it
was
was
there.
amazing.
She can tell you.
If you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
There's not a dry eye in the house, and it really brings back the unity in our country, because we're pretty divided right now. And so come see it, fill your spirit. Frontier Event Center,
Okay, yep.
Tuesday is getting free. So if you want to go, come see me and put
It's tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Time?
6. Doors open at 5:30.
Jay Lily?
Yeah, so I've got, Jess is going to car seat technician class this week, so Tuesday through Friday. It's a whole week, full days class, so she'll be certified to as a CPS technician, so to check car seats and install them and stuff, because I'm finding myself with less time to do that. So she'll be taking that over, and then I'll help her, as we get, as she needs the help. I'm still, my certification's still active, so I plan to keep that up, but I'll be the backup, I guess, and then she can take over. Anyone that, needs help with car seats, and we have car seats there that we get from the department, the MDT, Montana Department of Transportation, so they send us car seats, so, yeah, we've been pretty busy, I feel like, with that. And then Katie is finishing up her WIC training, so she can take that over, and she'll be going to Missoula on Thursday to shadow with WIC clinic in Missoula, so hopefully she'll be starting out here pretty soon to take over the WIC clinic with Jess. I think that's it.
Okay, Tracy?
Oh, just lots of computer work and phone work still. The phone went down yesterday. I was in here and got a hold of Lumen and got that going. I don't know. They reset the circuit and it was up and running, but other than that, I will be gone the rest of the week too, so I'm gonna be in North Carolina to see my boy at Camp Lejeune. So.
Don't drink the camper.
Yep.
Sure.
It was busy, sent several more to Sky this weekend, and your wife.
Yeah.
Years, so the calm before the storms. It was 13, but then we got a guy last night with, I can't remember, like 15 driving on suspended, 13 or 15, so she'll be there for a while. That's about it.
Okay, Sky?
I had a great meeting last night with Tom and Nick, and I think her name is Lillian, is that right? From DQ? Lily?
Yeah.
Something like that. with the septic application site out at the landfill. Who does Will work? He's
He's one
not
of the,
Clausen. He's one of the Clausen, the other one. Anyways, get some contracts in place for them so that we can kind of Badger, that's right, Badger Septic. So that we can ensure that the application is going appropriately and they're not dumping trash on the ground. Trying to keep the landfill looking as nice as we possibly can. But that's all going well. Wanted to compliment all the kids from the Rackley School. Last week, one evening at the Elks was an awards banquet for the outstanding young men and women in the community. The Rackley School kids ran all the food for it, and they did such a fantastic job. We don't have any district court upstairs this week because of the holiday tomorrow, so but we'll be busy in justice court and handling the new cases that came in. Margot is out today. I've got her in Bozeman watching closing arguments for the murder trial in Bozeman. So I'd be there, but one's enough. She's good at taking notes. Trying to figure out how to try a murder case in case I ever have to, never have. So, but things are going good. Staying busy.
Okay, good. Anything else?
Carter King's here on the Univision at Mako
Today?
10:30. At telephones, there's anything, she said we were pretty good on telephone, but I don't know what it means when you said we were out in March or whatever. And also nice shirt there. If everybody doesn't know, old Jed Fitch passed last week.
Yeah.
Haven't heard much about it, but, I mean, he was big on it. I think today's the birthday of the Marines.
Yeah,
So he was always, always a day ahead of the veterans because of his Marine Corps buddies and then tomorrow, so
He does
keep
get
him
a
in
big-
your mind.
He gets a big shout out during our shows. So,
Good, very good. Yeah, we've been in contact with the family, and then whenever we hear some information on arrangements, either over in Idaho and putting something together over here, we'll certainly let everybody know.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's also the 50th anniversary of the downing of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I don't know if anybody is familiar.
Oh, I remember that distinctly. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I wasn't around, but it's close.
I know the name.
I was there.
I mean, that old
Isn't
song.
there
Yeah, it's there's 6,000 shipwrecks on the Great Lakes, and I think the majority of people can only name one.
Yeah.
Probably just because of Gordon Lightfoot. But,
Yeah, great song.
yeah.
Anybody else? Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you. You look like Batman today, black on black. You look bad. Justin, do you have just to drive around?
It scared me a couple times. Sitting all the way back there, looks like there's a face covering next to you.
We're just
Quiet as a mouse up there now.
I've got, I'll tell you what, I've got a.
Stacy run them all out of the hallway.
What's that?
Well, I say it's quiet as a mouse up there now.
What, are you insinuating I was making all the noise out
No,
there?
no, I didn't say that.
Hey, what?
No, he said you ran them off.
Oh,
You went out there and went, everybody went out the, except for somebody else. I don't know.
All right, next item. Discussion and action resolution 2025-24, intent to consolidate coroner with sheriff department. Give us an update, I guess you.
We took over August 1st. It's been going good. I have a pretty good relationship with the funeral home up here. So, we've been learning a lot, but we're doing really good. Got it all under control.
Got anything to add to this, guy?
I mean, it's something that's very common in the state of Montana
Yep.
to have those two combined.
There's only, if we combine, then there's only 9 or 8 counties left that are separate.
I think it makes economic sense.
Yeah.
Which is, the number one thing I'm looking at, kind of two priorities. Number one, ability to do a good job, and number two, the economic side of things. I certainly think this would be a solution that would enhance both of those things.
Any more discussion?
Stace, what's it do to your office on the election part? You just gotta change a few paperwork?
I think the only thing that I need to do, to my knowledge, is when it comes to the ballot, is combining the two of them. So are you doing this by resolution or?
I believe that's the appropriate way to do things.
Yeah, then I think it's just a matter of changing it from 2 different positions on the ballot to just one. It would be sheriff / coroner on the ballot versus having 2 different positions.
So he has to run every time? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it would just be when you elect the sheriff,
Oh, okay.
you're also.
Oh. Okay, there you go. All right, all right.
It's just one position.
Yeah, okay.
And anybody that runs for sheriff will be it.
They'll have to.
Right, people.
So that's gonna be one of the requirements to be a sheriff. Yep, all right,
I can certainly put that resolution together and get it from you.
all right.
I did one.
Oh, good, great.
Resolution of intent, then it sits for a couple of weeks, and then we do the order here in 2 weeks. And just be done with it in case there's a lot of people wanting to be corners or stopping in there to tell us not to.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to start the conversation, but it's just a simple whereas therefore. Our corner quit.
Okay, make a motion to approve the intent.
Second.
Yeah, resolution number 2025-24. There's a motion and a second to signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Very good. We're ready for court at 10. Go. Thank y'all.
Yeah, that's all I have on it.
Morning.
All right,
Okay,
next item, discussion action, final plat approval, Baldy Mountain minor subdivision. You got the floor,
okay.
Tina.
Thank you. The Beaverhead County Planning Department and Planning Board recommends final plat approval of 12 minor subdivision comprising the division of Lot 12 of COS Certificate of Survey 782 into two 10-acre lots, lots 12A and 12B. The final plat and supplemental materials for the Molly View minor subdivision have been evaluated with regard to applicable provisions of the Beaverhead County subdivision regulations and the conditions of preliminary plat approval that were placed on this subdivision on September 2nd, 2025, have been met or otherwise satisfied. The final plat does not include any incomplete improvements, therefore, no proposed subdivision improvements agreements are included in this approval. Subject to the receipt of signed Mylars and original signed and notarized documents, the submittal is found to be in compliance with all the preliminary plat conditions set forth by the county commissioners and the Beaverhead County subdivision regulations. The planning department's recommendation is to approve the final plat.
Any questions? Okay.
No.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Move to approve the final plat approval of the Molly View minor subdivision.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All that paperwork for that quick a decision. Huh?
Yeah.
That's because it's right. You know, that's approved by them. You've dotted your i's and crossed your t's, so. And the weather's on your side for building.
Yeah, yeah.
Other
It's
than
for a little while. We'll see.
Other than the wind.
Yeah. Kind of used to that. Yeah. Cool.
We've got a sign, John.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I should have brought you.
Yeah.
Grab a pen. Real quick.
I might have one.
She's got a special one.
And clean Sharpie. And then you're ready to record after that? Yeah.
So I'm reading the quarter or?
Yeah, we'll just walk across there once John signs it.
Thank you.
The head of the Forest Service was given the house on that first lot.
Oh, really?
Got a second. Oh. Corey?
Oh, here. Oh, there's a second.
All there is to it.
Yeah, and Eddie, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Has some kids and stuff, so they're pretty excited.
Corey, you Ellen, or D Ellen, or something?
Yeah, like Llewellyn.
New Ellen, or something like that. Yeah, I'm glad he got a spot.
Yeah,
He's been on the hunt a while.
yeah.
Have you started construction on the other lot?
Just on the first one, so then we'll start that. Yeah, now it is. Start on the second.
Start on the second. Similar build as the first one.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, thank you.
These are pretty good people.
Good.
Hi.
Hi.
Tyler?
Yep.
Nice.
Just talk loud.
The infamous.
Just talk
famous
loud so
infamous.
we can hear you.
Oh, I'll talk
Well,
loud, don't worry.
I'm just teasing.
You had, I was looking at the commissioner pictures. We had a pretty good streak of commissioners in cowboy hats.
There's, back there in all them silhouettes. That's where, the three new outlaws right on this corner right here.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering where the cowboy hats were.
Well, I had one on and they asked me to take it off so they could take pictures.
Oh, well, you should have said.
I wish I had left it on.
You should have.
But the top of his head shines so much that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at it close, there's a big beam up here.
There's one guy out there that has the Chester A. Arthur facial.
Well, that'd be quite a lot of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
this was,
It's on that side.
On that.
Yeah.
Over there, there's everything you can
yeah.
imagine in the style of beard.
Yeah. Carly,
How's it going?
good, and Tyler,
Yes, sir.
how you doing, Mike? Yeah.
We met.
Yeah.
Last
we did
time.
Last time, yeah, we got this. Goddamn sheriff, I told him to be here.
I'll bet you the sheriff's phone rang.
You want to text him? You want me to?
Text.
text him?
Just about the time he hides down. He's on one of the other.
Thanks for coming down.
Of course.
Brad's got been pretty
Pretty
today. Yeah, be good.
We're gonna wait for him.
Yeah, give him a minute, at least when he receives the text. Then he might hand the phone to somebody else.
Well, he's got two cells, so I don't know which one to do.
Do both of them.
Yeah.
Do both of them and you're bound to catch him maybe.
I got this for you.
Ha. Hey, I'll put it right on my head.
Yeah, and that's something left been hustling here, and I don't know what to.
My daughter will steal it the second she comes in my
What's wrong with you,
There he is.
I get
There he
anything
is. There he
cool,
is. I was
she
about to
steals
just
something.
send you something.
Sit down.
All right, next item on the agenda, discussion and action, Carly King with Mako MCT.
All right.
Yep.
I appreciate it. So we have a couple things we wanted to chat about. I know we wanted to go over some of the results from the TCRA that we wanted to present. The telecommunication cost reduction analysis and what we were able to find. At the beginning of the summer, we were able to present a few different review items brought to Tracy and about $20 a month cost savings, which we didn't really find as significant for the county for as far as cost savings goes, but we were consolidation of a few different services that we could provide, as well as a few different services that we could update. And so I'll have Tyler review some of that presented to Tracy, but we can kind of go over. We wanted to present that to Commissioner if we found it relevant, but due to the fact that you guys are updating service in March, I believe, we did review and update all of the pricing, and so it is updated and relevant, and we'll provide all of that via email as well. But I'll have Tyler go over that as far as relevant updated information, and then we can talk about MCT updated services and what all that updated relevant information is after the TCRA stuff.
Hey, just real quick, take baby steps for me.
Yeah. Ask any question, we'll be
All right,
quick.
please step in here. All right.
Yeah.
This phone, I do not understand what the hell's gonna happen to this phone in March.
Nothing, but anyway, go ahead.
Oh, say nothing.
That's fair.
Well, we're at the end of life is on our PBX system in March, so we've got to.
Okay,
If it
so
ever
this is why
breaks
I'm asking
down-
this question. You did some repricing for that thing. Would you have to do a repricing for that? Or that's what I'm trying to get to.
No.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess,
These are the things that I don't know how to say. Tracy
Valid
can handle it
question.
while we're doing it. And I guess I've always told you guys the same way that, I'm probably to Promago, because the workers' comp trust, where that ever came from, is counties could not buy workers' comp, and they tried their own trust, their own workers' comp. Property and casualty, ditto. 15 years ago, healthcare was going out of control. That's where we joined the healthcare trust. And we've been, being on the board of directors, we get to direct live what communication was going to. Now with Carly and Stacy on the board of directors, you hear this program about member technology, cyber and tech. Okay, it's MCT. And that's the same way. I just think that, what they've proven that they can do when they put together a program up there is beneficial to the counties. We know them face to face, we're, close to them. So that's why I keep pushing on this, and that's where Univision's gonna come in pretty quick, and I need to, and the other counties you keep saying they're doing. So, all right, so finish up and I'll quit, and I'll ask some stupid questions, but other than that, we'll go.
So I think just to bring everything back up to speed and kind of give everyone a refresher. So the TCRA, the telecom cost reduction analysis, we get copies of everything you guys have. So accounts, the inventory on those accounts, the service addresses, we run them through all of the programs that we work with. And then it's very simple. We take what you have existing, what other services are out there, is there a cost savings? That's the primary objective. For you guys, you are in a situation where, as tends to happen with rural counties, not a lot of games in town. So you typically only have one or two carriers to choose from. Not a lot you can do to move those costs. Some counties we've been able to save a ton on their technology budget. Others, like you guys, pretty much what you had to pay, you were paying. There really was no wiggle room there. So it really, I think, to go back to Carly's point, the undertaking of moving services was not worth the effort and the savings. So I think that's where we were at. Now, so does that make sense to everyone where we were at?
Yeah, they're not fun.
Now, as I understand it, your PBX is going at EOL in March.
PBX on EOL. End of life.
So that was cool. And the PBX.
The phone system. So it's the physical, it's where all the phone lines terminate, and then that phone, the system is layered into the raw dial tone. Okay. So, I guess the major plan, or what I would be curious to discuss is, are we just, March is end of life. It doesn't mean it'll stop working. Is an on-premise replacement? Are you guys looking at an on-prem replacement, or are you looking to go cloud hosted?
Hybrid I'm still gathering that information.
So I guess to be forward, that would be a process that we can assist with. That's really one of the kind of added or maybe accessory features of the TCRA is that when doing that, we're pricing out what comparable services would look. So that procurement, that initial phase of procurement, we can do a lot of that work on your behalf. Now, I understand that depending on what the county's needs are, you're obviously going to be influential in saying, okay, these are our must-haves. So whatever's priced out, you have to make sure that you're checking these boxes. Because the operations of the county, you're going to be more knowledgeable on that than anybody. So I guess if that's something that you guys are actively in the process of vetting, I think MCT can be an absolutely invaluable resource in the sense that much of the ground that you have to cover We've already done that, or we've already got those pathways to do that, or we've already done it. I think that one thing I would say, given your infrastructure that you have, I think cloud hosted would be worth looking into pretty seriously, because you guys have the infrastructure to support that. If you were DSL circuits everywhere that were a little shaky and cell service wasn't good, whatever, I might be like, hey, on premise is the way you have to go. But I think you guys would be a good candidate for that.
No, I'm probably wrong what I'm saying, but you got internet over here and you got the old system here. When internet goes down, when you lose your phones too with this?
Yes, so yeah, it's a good observation. What I would counter you to is, as long as there's cell service, it's a soft phone system. So everybody inherently actually has redundant access to the system. So your primary would be the internet infrastructure in the courthouse, at the sheriff's office, whatever the case is. And then, in those scenarios, you'd have maybe a secondary internet connection. But then you also have these cloud hosted phone systems also have soft phones built in. So you could have your phone on your cell phone. So let's say that the courthouse is uninhabitable entirely. You could still theoretically conduct business on your county phone without having to actually be there. And you have the redundancy built in, because we all have cell phones. But you are absolutely correct. On premise, internet goes down, you would lose access to your phone system.
You lose the phone system and the computer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's
You'd have
also,
to talk me into that.
there's also a
Well-
benefit from that though, is if you're traveling, you can also use your phone from your work phone. So like if I'm driving over to Beaverhead County, I can still answer my desk from my cell phone, or answer my voicemail, or read transcribed voicemails from my phone. So there's a benefit too.
There's also trying to graduate. I started dyeing my hair gray. So adjusting all this stuff on, I don't even have a smartphone.
And see,
Never had it.
with us, guys, is what I keep thinking, and tell me if I'm wrong here too. You got hired like GIS and stuff, you know these computers, so that's just another hat we threw, dude. I keep thinking that we're putting these guys do a lot of computer work that you're doing now. And I don't know if that's fair, right, or wrong, dude. Tracy, because I mean, if anything goes wrong now, Tracy, come fix my computer. And I don't know if that's the smart way long-term to do. You're gone all this week. Those are the kind of thing that I think, and that's where I keep going back to these guys, that you'd be our service providers. And I hear you say, actually send people down to do this shit once a week.
Yeah, and that's it's once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, so, and that's
We're
where
close
that,
once a week, so I.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
overlaps with MCT, where that is in the contract where, in your contract where there's, a technician is on site once a month, where that's not an additional cost, that's a free service that's built into the contract, where a technician is walking around the county, making face-to-face services, making sure that all users are attended to, once a month. But we do a hybrid situation where if there is a
Tracy.
IT Tracy person, whether it's a full-time IT service person or if they're a hybrid person like a GIS engineer, that person is working directly with MCT all the time. We do the same thing in Blaine County where they have 2 people assigned to IT facilitating constantly, but then we work directly with them. And then if those people are out on vacation or facilitating different things, then we would cover that in a more full-time capacity for the county.
So back to the internet thing too. So right now, you do make a valid point about internet going down, you lose your phone. From a risk, like exposure perspective though, like if CenturyLink were to go down right now, you'd lose at least a portion of your phone system So you are still somewhat putting all your eggs in a carrier basket, and that kind of comes back to, we don't have a lot of last mile providers. It's Lumen, it's Spectrum. You got Three Rivers as well, but the chances are some of those carriers might be using each other's infrastructure to deliver the service too. So, if there's consideration for that, I think there's healthy skepticism on that, on the voice piece. It's weighing your risk tolerance. But I do think it's a worthwhile discussion to have, particularly, I assume that a PBX would be a pretty good capital expenditure if you did a replacement for the county, that you're, as opposed to trying to wrap that into a monthly plan. So there's a budgetary consideration that obviously you guys will be knowledgeable on. Now, I guess to bring this conversation back to a larger picture, it sounds like the phones are the maybe more immediate need that you are addressing. But holistically, and this would involve, this is where the sheriff's office comes in too. What are you guys looking to achieve from a holistic IT perspective? And I think that's the discussion that you're wanting to have, and that I don't think this precludes anybody on site from being power users, being knowledgeable, being the go-to. It's just for the instances. I mean, we do that pretty much every county that we work with. We have smart hands on site that is our funnel, our go-to, whatever. But then in those instances where either it exceeds your time, your knowledge, your whatever it is, then the backup's there, from a service provider. And then, again, the added benefit is, much like the models that you described, we're putting technology for counties. When that is the association's objective, then the purchasing power for single counties is.
So what I'm looking to do is the sheriff comes running up here all the time with the goddamn Univision. Go, look at this son of a bitch, how much this is cost. Fix it. I can't. Call Carly. I now do not know what Univision does. Can you get something that's more cost effective? I seen a stack of monitors down there that damn baby he was bitching about buying and stuff. Can you fix Univision for him so he quits coming at my office bitching to me? I'm honestly.
You're looking to make a change?
I think they price.
For $100,000 a year, what do you say you spend? I mean, it's just humongous what he does. Yes, we're looking
What was
to
the
change.
bill I
it.
just showed the other day, $4,000 or something?
Yeah.
And then you pay that every month, and then then there's a $25,000 annual bill. And then now I think I sent you that, Stansel, that's 17,000. I'm just getting nickel and dime to death. I can spend that money on car guns.
Ammunition.
And then what Carly, his secretary, said down, we were yelling at this last week when we talked about it. She said, be careful, their stuff with Univision is special. I said, well, you guys do a lot of counties, and I don't know what Univision is special with Beaverhead County, with anybody else. Because the phone thing seems like a small thing. I think Tracy can do it.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna get you doing Univision, why not get a little bit more involved and you guys do? That's what I'm looking for. But Univision's the big, that guy came in that one day when he found out you guys were in town. He came in, was bragging about his company. And now once a month, I get a thing from him. He wants to take over DIS and do everything that NCT's doing. He brought us these little puppy dogs. That's where that came from. He's wanting to take over the stuff in the county. And the guy that uses him hates him.
Well, I guess I don't blame him from a business perspective. If I had a foot in and I saw an opportunity, I would want the entire thing.
But your job is to get rid of him and get something better.
Well, so here becomes that process, right? If it's simply an issue, if it's purely an issue of cost, I would venture to guess we can beat cost. I don't think MCT is interested in just a discussion of cost though. It's like I say, I keep saying that word, holistic. If it's just an issue of cost, you can find somebody probably cheaper than MCT. That's not the only consideration. The other considerations are, what is the level of service? What's the reliability of that service? What's the knowledge on it? I mean, to me, that's a larger conversation. One of the main objectives can be to reduce costs. And I think we can have meaningful discussions about that. But if it's just cost, that's also a race to the bottom too. I've seen it. If it's, there's cheap folks and a lot of times you get what you pay for. So where the breakdown usually happens for us is we'll have a great conversation and we'll talk about all these things. And then you get to the kind of decision influencers, and they may have some other opinions. They may have some apprehension, whatever the case is. And then we kind of stall out. So I would tell you that unless there's something specific that, because I've kind of been the de facto response from our competitors that, oh, well, they can't do what we do. But I've yet to hear, typically it's on the law enforcement side. I can tell you that anybody on our team has got a higher, information clearance. We're all we've all been background checked by DOJ. We've all been down there, got our fingerprints taken so we can work on these systems. Carly could rattle off the list of, top secret security clearances that she's got, but
she's got, that's the other, that's what's pretty, that's depending on where she came from.
Yeah, but ultimately, can Carly's staff complete the work for the sheriff's office that a Univision or DIS could? Yes. So unless there's something specific that they're referencing, I don't know.
There's nothing specific, it's just, I'm getting nickel and dime to death. It just keeps going up and up and up and then now I got Windows 55 that's going up.
But there must be some, you're you evidently are not feeling that you're getting what you're paying for.
Oh, everything's running, I'm getting what I'm paying for, but
I'm paying for it.
I'm paying for it.
I also think it's a priority of the association too, when you are working with an association, or like you mentioned earlier, where you're advocating and sitting on a board, where, for example, we're working for an association where the priority is the tax dollars of all the counties in the state. So that's a constant conversation, not only within MCT, but within NACO, where we're having constant conversations of the priority of all of the counties, the tax dollars, and where everything's going, and the mission of Montana Association of Counties and all of the counties in Montana, and where that mission is going. So and I think that's a bigger discussion of not every business and private business is having those same conversations. And so just having that same mission focus is really important. And where kind of that mission lies.
As soon as we saved ourselves, I think, with this healthcare insurance, that little girl by the name of Julie Blocky from Blue Cross has been in here every flipping year trying to buy our insurance from us. That's, that thing is when you belong to an association, it's not like we're hiring outside. They are us. So holistic, you mean when you're talking that you'd like to just take this whole thing over, which includes DIS, which you probably got to get Stacy in it for Univision. That's what you're talking about. Let's just get this thing.
I'm not even talking about us doing it. I'm talking about but that's the value add, right? We're trying to align the objectives of the sheriff's office and the county, because you inherently, when you silo off, so Univision, they want the county's business, right? Understandably. But are they having the discussions about aligning your expenditures and the user experience and the systems? Are they talking about aligning those and putting that together into a long-term plan for the county, or are we just putting out fires? When I talk about holistically, I talk about having this strategic plan for IT as a whole. So take out, whether it's sheriff's office, whether it's the county. Now, it doesn't mean consolidating to a single vendor, but that means having discussions, meaningful discussions with decision makers, stakeholders, influencers about the direction of IT. So that's what I mean when I talk about holistically. Now, do we control more of that discussion when we're involved in supporting those systems? Absolutely. Is it easier for us to do that? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean we can't work with other vendors. That doesn't mean we can't work with other providers.
Okay, so you would be negotiating, I don't know if that's right, with Univision instead of us, that we don't even know to ask the right question.
Well, yeah, I think figuring out the value that everybody has and getting the right people at the table to make those decisions, I think is imperative. And I think that's outside of just the cost saving. That's why I say, if it's just an issue of cost, I can be a race to the bottom, because we're interested in doing more than just trying to save money.
So we signed a document here 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago. That basically said, I think the way I understood it, and then I might have got some pushback, is it said, go do this. Is that about right, Carly, or?
Yes, and that's the document we're gonna email you today.
Okay, we already did this.
Yes.
Stacy was a little bit concerned about customer service, I think. I don't know if you are or whatever, but we did this once before. Now, I mean, that's what we need to really look at, guys. I think probably should have had Stacy in here too.
And that usually becomes the hangup, is that what maybe makes sense on paper for the commission, and then, maybe there's other considerations that you guys aren't thinking about. So then those internal discussions, if there is pushback, usually it just kind of breaks down, and then a year goes by and it's like, hey, what progress have we made on this? Well, kind of still where we were at, but that also, that's how long this process can take. These are not just knee-jerk quick decisions. So, I mean, that's part of it. We're driving the conversation.
There's those departments such as this one. And I've used it so long there. 1-800 help me, and they got a good feel for it and relationships. Oh, hi, how are you? Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I can't argue with that. It's just the fact of consolidating. Univision, is that a law enforcement tool?
No, they do other places too. So.
They work I know, but other than law enforcement, they're kind of something. Is it DOJ and your Department of Corrections and all?
No,
that
they're
thing?
just
They're
a
just
regular old.
blanket company.
Yeah, because they came in, that's where these blue dogs came from. They want to take over the whole, I mean, basically do away with DIS. And
Since I've been
Well,
here,
as far as
the only
customer
thing-
service and support, they are pretty good, but they're expensive.
Oh,
Yeah,
And I have not even seen a contract from them, so I tried getting that ironed out just to see exactly what we are paying for, and there's nothing around here
Yeah.
that I found.
And then we get into these phones and all this phone thing too, that you got us that one day, got us all these phone numbers, where do these go to? We're paying phone bills, the phones don't even work.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that we need.
But that right there, that's a differentiator. Because it's not just, I mean, we can come in and bring you these two, and we'll have them on the desk, and we're top of mind.
I don't want to.
And we can probably, and we can earn the business, but what happens to those phone numbers? They just kind of, again, get lost in the shuffle, and then nothing ever really happens. And so, I think that's really what we want to do, is fully examine and understand and help you guys understand what's happening. Because a lot of it, and I understand it, it's like, oh gosh, this works. I don't really want to mess with this because this works, and I don't want to create another problem for myself. I fully understand that, right? And it doesn't have to be an all or nothing proposition. So let's say that you may feel that and do you know everything that you're paying for? Do you understand everything that you do? So understanding that, and part of that consultancy piece is like giving you the knowledge to be able to go back and say, hey, I'm confused on why I'm being charged for X amount of blank. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, we might be overbilling you. Let me talk to your account manager. Let me do this, let me do that. Like, those are the types of discussions that are kicked off. It is not our goal to be the grim reaper to other IT companies. Our goal is to increase the understanding and transparency of IT services at the county level. So, I mean, I guess at that point, if there's continued pushback on it, then it's just like, you guys may not be interested, and that's, you know, we'll all move on.
So that's what I said, and I do not believe this is the commission that they ought to be talking to. I think we ought to get a contact or a point person. And for the time being, I don't know where Stacy is, and all due respect, Sheriff, I've told these guys 100 times, I ain't part of Univision, you don't know that, what questions to ask either. That's sort of where we're at on this thing. Dana probably knows a whole bunch of it, but I think Tracy, I think we ought to empower Tracy. I think he's heard loud and clear what I want to do. I don't know if it's what we want to do, but maybe get Tracy to work with Tyler.
Does that make sense to you?
Is that gonna make sense? What I want to get these guys on board. We've got 4 people on the board of directors now. If they don't do what we want to do in a year, we'll kick them off. Is that fair? I mean, I don't know if that's what we're looking to do, but that's what I wanted to get to do. And start working through this thing.
The biggest passion about DIS is across the whole.
Yeah.
There's 6
Well,
or 8 people.
and generally, they provide good service here with the county.
Oh, I call them. As they get the person and houses running around, I go to someone else.
And I understand what we're paying for on them, because I made them write us a contract and we signed it, and so we know what that bill is.
Yeah.
And then if there's any expenditures, we discuss them first before we buy it, so.
And hardware, the same
That makes
way.
sense.
You the same, you get a lot of good deals on it. I've seen you do it, and I suppose that's what they do too. That's what Carly does. She might just have a bigger deal to do it, I don't know. But that's the kind of stuff I think we ought to maybe, to go forward here in the next, I don't know if this phone system's the thing to work on with that thing. But give Tracy the power, that's the contact person you guys work with. If it don't work out, come back, tell us that, you know, we like what we're doing, and
Well,
we'll see conferences.
what's the plan? I mean, what right now, what are you thinking on the phone system? I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be running beyond March.
I was hoping maybe to have a new system in here by the beginning of next year, our fiscal year, so July 1st, yeah.
So, I mean, and those are the types of things where that makes total sense, and we can help plan or have those discussions around the risk involved with that as well. And so that it's understood and it's like, hey, this is what our plan is. I mean, that's part of, again, that holistic vision of, you know, by FY 2026 or whatever, we want to have it implemented. So, I mean, we can help with that. We don't need to be we don't have to be the only cook in the kitchen. Our goal is, our allegiance is to, you know, 56 entities throughout the state. That's it. We don't have other customers that we do stuff for. We don't have other agendas. We don't have anything other than that. And so obviously we've got to sustain ourselves, but we don't have the same, I guess, targets or monetary numbers that we need to hit being like a Univision or a DIS. And doesn't make them bad guys. They're in private business. They happen to support public entities. We're a nonprofit that caters exclusively to this. So
Okay, because we didn't line this up on purpose, but another one of these Mako things would help when workers' comp sort of when state fund, when we were gonna close our thing down, we joined up with that group of Mako people to put together a group buy. You guys might stay here, because I'm assuming there's a flipping check about to get delivered here a little bit. Don't know for sure, but I think that's what this is all about. That is just the respect and confidence, and I know what that Mako staff put together and the board of directors, when they put something together, they out to rip people out, they're out for the betterment of the counties, straight across the board. I can see my check sitting over there right now, I don't want to shoot, so your big is gonna be, it could be good. That's all I'm trying to say, appreciate you guys coming down there, we got the 11 o'clock going. Trace, Todd, you got the phone numbers of these guys, let's start working through this thing.
Do they need to resend the contract? Is that what you said?
No.
Yeah, we're good with it, I mean, we signed it, but then everything just fell apart. And didn't-
Well, I mean, all that authorized us to do was to inquire on, get
On
into
study.
yeah. So if you wanted to revoke the LOAs theoretically, I can't remember, did we do a year? Okay, so you can revoke them whenever we've got the current inventory numbers, so.
And then, this whole new system, I mean, that's what I was asking David, when you talk about our phone system, are we getting new phones and every, pieces and parts? All right, but that would be the thing that I keep saying, if you can find a good buy for them, check against what they can get, that's what I keep looking for, cost savings, and Univision, we'll work on it.
I think the first thing to do is get a contract from them, it's exactly what we're paying for, so.
Yeah, that was my next follow-up is,
With
we
Univision?
can work directly with Tracy and the sheriff and do a combined contract and see what that would look like. Just separate from the sheriff and compare it directly with the county. Comparison of directly with what you're paying and then the sheriff's as well. And do a direct apples to apples comparison of what that would look like for the county.
Okay, yeah, and if that's as simple as to get a contract from Univision.
Well, yeah.
But, that, and this is what I think he heard loud and clear, that we were gonna get rid of him. So that's why he came back here to market himself. So, I heard today that maybe we're not gonna get rid of him, but we want to get him sharpened up a little bit, we want to see what we're doing, so. That could be.
Well, like Tyler said, this is a slow moving vehicle. So.
That's right.
So take a breath again, you okay?
Well, I mean, there have been instances where we've gone in, asked some questions, and then all of a sudden that bill starts,
I'm sure.
We've done it in 30 days, we've done it in 6 months. So it
Okay,
can be as
appreciate
fast or as slow as you want it to go.
Okay.
It's up to you, you're the one with the reins. I should talk.
It's up to you, honestly. I
I
can
know,
move
but
pretty
you can
quick here.
Starting your questions.
Well,
I
you
don't
can
even know how to ask.
Start with Tracy, because, you might hold me back a little bit, slow, but the 30-day one, I like to hear. But I don't know if that's, but we're gonna have to give a lot of the authority to us to Tracy, if you guys don't mind. I sure as hell don't want to do it. Work with sheriff and Carrie, whatever her concern was, because as soon as she heard that, she said, Mike, you can't do that because blah, blah, blah.
I've been doing it this way for years and years.
And I don't know what to tell her, so.
Gary and this one across the home, there's like 6 of them over there.
Well, that's you guys' job.
No.
That's why I brought you back again today, because on this phone thing, when I heard about it, I just wanted to get either, I either quit bugging you guys or get with you.
Yeah.
Help me out?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks for coming and listening.
Thanks for coming.
On mass confusion.
You can sit and watch this, Chuck.
Oh,
It's gonna be interesting, but hey, Carly, thanks once again, so. Tyler, kind of wish I could answer your question.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
As always, thank you.
Hey,
Hey.
how you doing? Good to see you. Just drive over this morning?
Well, from three points. I stayed at three points. Yeah. We have it on.
Correct.
Okay, just. Do you want to be the heavyweight?
Yeah.
Or you guys?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
All right, good, how are you?
Hi.
Pretty good.
guys. I'm good to see you.
Good to see you again.
I'm good to see
Yeah.
you.
How you doing?
Oh,
All right, good.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good.
Good to see you again. Sorry for
Oh, no.
being a little late.
Busy.
All right. Discussion. Sites safety presentation. Have you got the floor?
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm here today with Mark Rosenleaf from Montana State Fund, along with Jamie Larson, the site insurance, and we're here to deliver your dividend check.
dividend check.
From your safety program.
What's that?
Yeah, a little over $18,630. We'll go even for that. So roughly that's 23% of your premium.
Okay.
Is what that is.
We don't even know how to spend it.
Is that pretty much figured? Everybody in the state got pretty much a 23% one. That's how they do that.
It used to be more tied to safety, but that.
They
It's
sort of
not a
just did away with
feasible
that.
thing, so.
So it fluctuates. It goes from anywhere from, I've seen from 18% to 25%, depending on what the experience is in those years. But the last two years, it's been 24 to 23%. So there isn't many carriers out there that you're getting a return on like that from your workers' compensation.
In the insurance world.
Cool, thank you.
You bet, thank you. So the other thing that we want to talk to you is just about your safety program in general, and I'll have Mark and Jamie kind of lead off with that.
Okay. So, glad you guys these.
Yeah.
Well, what those are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. Anybody else? Okay. I'm out now. Here you go. All right, so this first one is, that's your loss experience report. If you see the 0.90 up in the right-hand corner is highlighted, that's your current experience modification factor, or EMOD. 0.90 is pretty good. 1.0 is average, and below is better. Above 1 is worse, and the further you go in either direction, the better or worse it is respectively. So I got no issues with 0.9, that was all right. The next page, broke this down with by average reporting time, which is the faster you get a claim in, the better the result, the cheaper it is, the faster the employee gets back to work, that sort of thing. You're always going to have a few late ones, but you guys your average reporting time is 4 days, so I got no issues with that. So that is good. You know, things happen, and once in a while a claim is late, and so that's just the way that rolls. This third one, this is what we call the expected claim count. So this page here looks like this. So let me break that down into a couple different slides. So I'm going to go to this upper right-hand portion first on the next page. So this one here. You guys live in the
You
middle.
got a big one, okay, I see it.
Oh, yeah. Just the last one. So we expect you guys to have 2 or 3 claims per year. So your section is the middle of the green. So if you have significantly more than that, 1.75 times your expected annual claim, then you'd be red. If it's 0.75 to 1.75, then you're in the yellow, and below 0.75 would be green. So let me bring you back to this first one. You can see over the course of the years on this one here that it's yellow coming from 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Yellow, red, green, and currently is yellow. Now, this one looks like this with some extra lines drawn on it. So I don't get it wound up, even over that red here, you guys we expected 3.17 claims, and we got almost double that. We've got 6 claims. So that actual to expected ratio is 1.89. I don't even get wound up about that. That's why you have workers' comp, it happens. So I look at the average, which your average is 1.24, which, that's not the worst thing in the world. But what it does mean is that people are getting injured. And anytime we can prevent that, I am game for that. So none of those stats do I get terribly wound up over. You know, they're not sustained, they're not year after year. Beaverhead County is terrible, too many people getting injured, nothing like that. I thought you guys might be interested in seeing how people are getting injured. So this bar graph one shows what we call the loss types. So motor vehicle accidents, slip, trips, falls, struck by objects are the most frequent ways people are being injured here at Beaverhead County. Just a little side thing, motor vehicle accidents. I get wound up about those and even more so about falls from heights, or falls from elevations, I guess we call it, because those kill people. In motor vehicle accidents, sometimes, it's many times it's out of your control. Most of the motor vehicle accidents that my policyholders get in, it's not their people. It's some other person ran a stop sign or rear-ended or whatever. Falls from heights, really, there's almost always something you can do about that, but you guys haven't had those. But those two injury types, on average, are twice as expensive as like slip, trips, falls, manual material handling, the most frequent claims. They're about $36,000 on average per incident, whereas a manual material handling is about 14. Slip, trip, and fall, 14.
I didn't deal with the sheriff to get him back in here.
He's out here.
It's the line, it's the landing. Yeah, the landing is not the fall. So anyway, that was just kind of a little sidetrack. Which brings me to the triangle. So this Heinrich's triangle is also called Heinrich's law or Heinrich's rule. It's neither a rule nor a law, but that's what people call it. But about 100 years ago, this H.W. Heinrich looked at tens of thousands, maybe over 100,000 insurance claims. I think he worked for Allstate, maybe. But for all those tens of thousands of claims, he found that for every fatality, there are about 30 serious injuries, whether they're physical injuries or property damage. And for every 30 of those, he found that there were about 300 minor incidents, either physical injury or property damage. In the 1960s, a guy named Frank Bird looked at similar stuff, found kind of about the same thing. And in the years since, we've added near misses and unsafe acts to the bottom of this triangle. Now, those are freebies. When I meet with my policyholders, I will ask them, well, how many near misses did your people have last year? How many close calls were reported? How many unsafe acts were brought to your attention? And the answer is usually close to 0. Okay, well, so none of that stuff's happening out there in the workplace, right? You're not having any near misses, or there's no unsafe acts out there. Well, we didn't say that. There's a lot of them. So there has got to be some ground here to be gained, I think. These are freebies. Something happened, but it didn't amount to much, in terms of injury or property damage, but it could have. So when those happen, I tell my policyholders, ask yourself, what's the worst case thing that happened? One of my customers up in Big Sky called me once and said, hey, we just had a strap on a forklift break, dropped a bunk of lumber right next to a guy. What do I do with this? I said, act like it landed on his head. Because the next time, if you don't figure out why that happened, the next time, maybe it lands on his head. So, all that said, Dave and I would like to work with all the counties and maybe the cities to do better from that point of view, do better from near miss reporting, do better from unsafe act reporting, And, so,
So if we historically look at this program, the workers' compensation program that we put together for Mako, you know, you're seeing return premium, you're seeing your premiums drop, you know, because of rate relief and because of dividends and such. So, but we're not seeing the development or the realization of the retro program that we put together on this. And one of the areas that I think that we're struggling is just from the safety standpoint, because you might not be seeing it in Beaverhead County, but we're seeing it throughout the state, where we're not getting a full utilization or full effect of the safety coordinator in those positions. And much of it is because of the turnover in those departments. So one of the things that we're going to try to do with Mako is start to develop a program where we can take the safety directors or the safety person for each county and take them to a facility or take them to a group of other like-minded people that are doing the same job and have the same roles in other counties, and give them the tools and the skills that they need to have an effective safety program. Because I think that's one of the issues that we have is we can have a quarterly, hour-long safety program, every quarter, but a lot of people aren't attending those. And we're seeing a huge transition from the counties and their safety directors. I'd say probably a half a dozen just in the last year that we deal with have got new safety coordinators. So most of those people don't have any, they're getting put into that role that they don't have any idea of, what it entails. So you can chat GPT it all day long and you can probably get your way through it, muddle your way through it, but we'd like to put together a program where you're going to be involved and you're going to have to buy off on this so that you can send your safety director to Butte to a monthly meeting where we'll have all of the safety directors, I hope, from the various counties, and also, as Mark mentioned, the city. So effective 7/1 of 26, the Montana Municipal Insurance Authority, the MMIA, their workers' compensation program is no longer going to be viable. So they are actually, I would say the majority of those people are going to be with the state fund as well. So what we'd like to do is maybe try to take the cities and the counties, because they all have similar exposures from that standpoint, and take all of those entities and put them together and develop this safety program. But we need your commitment as commissioners to say, yes, this is what we want to do. Just looking at your losses, year 22 where you had, the one large loss, that's 100% avoidable. And that would have, and you're seeing those effects in your exposure and in your premiums right now. But those are the types of things where, that Mark is mentioning from a leading indicator and standpoint, that we can, there's more of those out there. We're just not seeing them. So that's an area that probably needs to be addressed. So that's where we're going to go with this. And we have a meeting with the Mako board next week, and that's what we're going to pitch to them as well.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Becky? Turnover, and I like I said, we've had that discussion here lately, whether we're gonna get you a half-time person for what you're currently doing. Now, nope, you just happen to slip into the safety person too. And that's talked to all the other counties that have ever done this. They either got full-time safety officers that do this. So what you said there, Dave, is exactly what we did here with Stacy, or Becky, you handled it.
Yeah.
It just sort of got passed down from one to the next. That's what we're doing. And,
So can't afford a permanent position for 40 hours a week doing that.
But also you need to take a look at it and say, do you have the right person doing it? Do you have the right person that's involved in all of the different departments? As Mark and I were talking this morning, and Jamie, your road departments do a pretty good job at that, but is it something where you're DES coordinator? That would be part of their, you know, their role, because it's essentially kind of rolled up into that person's job description as well. And, you know, we see ours in Sydney that base of Ferguson County that basically does all of those duties. But he's not in the safety department, but he could do it easily. He's got the capability and he's got the tools to take care of that. So anyway, that's just one more thing that we can take a look at down the road. But that's really kind of what we wanted to talk about today, but it's going to need a commitment from the commissioners to make that happen.
And then particular, because I think we've got this current year coming out of here, we ain't gonna like it very much. Because the one mistake we made again, that guy that pumped his thumb off. Yeah, you know, and that got in, you got that stuff, Jamie?
Yeah.
That, you know, because he went on workers' comp payroll for 3 months.
Well, they got
Oh, I
that,
know that.
all of that, he got that infection in his bone there.
But those are the kind of things that with the right kind of person, and we could have got him back in here doing something. You know, that's the kind of thing we need to look at, think about, and, because that was a pretty simple little start out, I thought.
That was,
I mean, cut his thumb off.
they cut it, and then the infection got in the bone marrow. Yours through.
That's gonna hurt for the next 3 years.
At the bridge beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that was, yeah, April this year, okay.
Stick your finger in there underneath a beam. I mean, that's the same way as it's avoidable. Yeah, they were yelling. It happened so quick, and that's why they call them accidents. If he did it on purpose, they'd call them purposes.
The good news is it drops out of the EMOD on July of 27, so it's still got another year to suffer
So
with it.
we're gonna have to be really
Is he
good.
back to work?
He's back at it now.
He got released from Mosley.
Yeah.
I went through that, and I had to go in and sit down at the hospital.
But not being on work was probably gonna cost us more than the whole medical
Yeah,
year.
That's the number, so if you look at that, it's not nearly as,
It's
not as bad as I think it's gonna be.
I know, but it's, yeah.
It's not
Anyway,
worth,
yeah.
but it's not gonna hit you nearly as bad as the
Right.
ATV situation.
No ATVs.
All right. But anyway, those are the kind of things, yeah, that, you know, somebody could run around, find a job for him, keep him here. Yeah, he didn't come back. I guess he wanted to. I mean, it was just one of those weird, he got a real weird one. And then, I'm a real fan of a lot of the medical world too. I mean,
But that's it.
I can work with Becky on what I think she should do. You know, in terms of safety management and stuff, but expectations and goals and metrics and all that stuff. That's up to you guys, and I would suggest that you use leading indicators, measuring the good stuff that the county is doing to promote safety rather than how many injuries did we have last year, how much did it cost, all those things. I mean, you gotta keep track of that too, but what gets measured gets done, and if you're going to promote numbers, why not make them be good ones?
well, we started that program, remember that, of the near misses? $10 cash.
Right.
If you find an unsafe act or a dollar bill or something bad, it happened one time, didn't it?
He got the $10.
I got the $10.
I think he's.
I didn't know nobody else is, I mean, but that's something that needs to be every day or every week brought up in the minds again. I mean, these are good ideas, they just need to be done, but
You gotta know him, he probably split $5 with him that did.
no, I can't even remember what I did, it was one of those, that stuff.
Not that I.
But it was, needs to be followed up through.
And you gotta take the stigma out of it. The reason those don't get promoted or get reported and followed up on is because most of the time, something I did or didn't do contributed to whatever happened. And, you know, and also, I don't wanna call you out when I see you doing something unsafe, so it's gotta be anonymous. You know, I saw I saw an employee do this, I corrected him on the spot, so that would be a perfect opportunity to report an unsafe act.
I see.
They have no names in it.
No names, just a
Yeah,
quick
just,
little sticky note.
and you got to train employees, this is what we're doing, this is why, so, you know, if I come to you and say, hey, notice you're doing this, let's change this up, let's do something different, it's not because I'm out to get you or anything. You know, that's what we want, that's what we expect. It is a total culture change.
We want to get you back to that 0.76,
Yeah.
0.75.
Yeah, I know, Becky, there's a mathematical way to do this, but that one time we were just right in that sweet spot that every hundredth we moved down was $1,000 bill. So 0.9 turned into $10,000 that we do not pay. It's a way to say that. So to get down to 75, what it was, that's $25,000 we don't pay for workers' comp. Back when we were in the Mako pool, you know, they stopped it at 125.75, you know, so there was that $50,000 swing we could save on it. I suppose payroll maybe, I bet everything about the same, but that's why I look at it, every 100th on that point you keep down there, it's $1,000. And that's, should be worth a pizza party or somebody. That's sort of where this fund comes from, so.
Yeah, you're probably not far off there. We've got still.
Probably pretty, rule of thumb, I'll bet it's pretty close.
35,000 from where you were at.
35?
35,000 from where you were at.
Oh, yeah, we were high, man, when we started.
1.23.
Yeah, we was high as we went down about as low as, yes, it's in there. Wow.
Just want to see the money.
So, since the counties got out of, you know, how big is this refund you're doing statewide? That's gotta be pretty sizable.
Just the counties alone are right around 1.2 million.
$1.2 million.
The total is in the 30s.
Yeah.
What's in that letter, it'll tell you what the total was given.
Yeah, I seen it, you know, that, I got mine down at the meat shop the other day, that's why I said, about one of the quarterly payments, and that's why I said, you said 23, I asked that, so, yeah, it was. 3.38.5.
I should put these on.
Pretty cool.
But you know that the reason that, you know, I'll have a handful of people who say, well, I want my rates lowered. You know, I don't want my dividend, I want my initial rates lowered. However, this is through the 3 years that they have to see where their losses are going to develop. And that's, so they have their expected loss payments that they have on those. And if they do a good enough job managing those claims and keeping people, you know, off the indemnity side of it and back to work, that's where those savings are coming from. That's where that money's coming from. So you did not see that, you know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Well, I gotta go to Billy's next week, but I'm there early for the healthcare trust, so.
We're there on
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, we're there Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday, and then the healthcare trust, I guess we're all meeting together, and then you can do your business Thursday.
We're Thursday after lunch.
Yeah.
I'll be out there, have fun, I'll see you Thursday or Wednesday night. Let the other guys do that. That's good, thank you, appreciate it, making over here, and it makes sense, I guess, back to the safety committee, I've always seen it. Ones that always win the award got a full-time public safety officer, or they got it a whole lot bigger than what we're doing.
So we met with the city of Dillon this morning as well. And so we're hopefully going to be working with them on their workers' compensation. So we'd like to be able to take those two entities, Beaverhead County and the city of Dillon, and utilize some of the same services.
Good for you, man.
And you're gonna try to put together a program for the city, sort of blue and gold, like you did for other, right?
We actually tried. We went to them when we put together the Mako program. We went to the city as well, and they didn't want any part of us. And now 4 years later, their program is defunct.
Well, you can almost see it coming. I mean,
Yeah.
Was that with League?
But again, when the conversion from the pool, from the Mako pool to the state fund program, it was a $3.6 million savings right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And the cities is more.
Oh, really?
The cities was more.
No inflation factor, but still. Yeah, that's good, I guess, it's used correctly.
So before we leave, Becky, not to put you on the spot, how can we help you? Or you guys tell us what can assist your safety coordinator in your program between, the three of us sitting here?
Training.
Okay?
That's the big question is, are we at the right people? Are you the right one?
I can do anything I set my mind to.
I know, but that's like I said, we got rid of a two people department, got you in there, and that's why I said, we got too much on your plate. That's the question that I think we need to ask too. Hopefully we got payroll sort of handled, but, that's my biggest concern. We just keep throwing stuff at people, because that's what they had to go for, but we can discuss that later, find out about this.
So I guess another question I would say is, how can we get the employees more involved though too, without it seeming like it's a tattling thing?
Right.
I mean, it sounds great, it's like, but at the same time, if they feel like they're, if they feel like they're tattling that, hey, I saw Tina do this type of thing, and I get $10 for tattling on it. I mean, and that's kind of, but also it's a time thing though too. It's like, you see something, if you don't deal with it right then and there, and you get busy doing something else, it's like, oh, not a big deal. That's a low priority. So I guess, speaking from the safety team committee, you guys are gonna be there this afternoon at the 1:31 too? Okay. Is how can we get more of the employees involved into that?
Well, I think one thing is on our safety committee, we need people who want to be more involved instead of people who are just putting in the time.
Part of that is something that I think David and Jamie and I will work out, and my boss and greater state fund. How do we empower your employees? And keep in mind, we're trying to do it from afar,
Right.
So we've got to come up with some sort of program or training or a template for you guys to follow, something that will accomplish that. It's a culture shift, really. It's if I don't call you on something when I see you doing it, well, I have just missed an opportunity. Not an opportunity to rat you out, but an opportunity to keep you safe. And if we can change the mindset to look at it from that point of view, rather than the current point of view, which it's that way with every company. You guys aren't unique.
There are counties that are utilizing this approach, and it's working. So we just need to get with them and find out exactly what they're doing that's making it successful as well. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it's like that with every county. There are a few counties that are pretty good at this and doing it well. So we will get something figured out. And in the meantime, you and I can work together. I can kind of show you how I see things, what I think you should be doing, and then some sort of give and take with the commissioners. And we can figure out something that works for everybody.
I did have a call this morning with the director of marketing with the state fund and told him our thoughts and what I thought we should be doing. And he hadn't thought of that, and he's taken it to his management team today, and hopefully we'll have some direction by next Thursday that we can possibly move forward with that. It's going to be a development.
That we did years ago, and it's been quite a few years now, is we used to have full employee trainings, safety trainings, like maybe once a year or something on different topics. Is that something that would still be open? I'm looking at the three commissioners here too.
And Amber and I were talking about that a couple different times too.
Yeah.
Like what were they?
Well, I know we did one on, I think it was what, active shooter? Was it Blue?
Blue,
Blue did that.
There was one on
There was-
defensive driving where they actually, did the tabletop thing with
Yeah,
cars and.
but to do more, instead of just our safety meetings, but bringing the employees in too and doing, even if it's just like one a year, just something to engage them more.
So if you look at something called hierarchy of control, and I don't know if I have a graphic of it or not, but so the hierarchy of controls, imagine an upside down triangle with the top level being elimination. So when we encounter a hazard, doesn't matter if we're at work, at home, at play out in the forest, on the river, whatever, we encounter a hazard, our first thought should be, how do we eliminate that? If we can't eliminate it, sometimes we can't, is there something safer that we can put in play to minimize or eliminate the risk or reduce the risk? So an example might be, we've got a chemical that's really nasty that does something. Well, there's a chemical that's not nasty that does the same thing. That's a good trade. If we can't do that, then we look to engineering control. So keeping the people away from the hazard and the hazard away from the people. So guards and guardrails and stuff like that. And then if we can't do that, then we come down to administrative controls, training, policies, procedures. And every time we come down this triangle, it gets less and less effective. And then personal protective equipment is at the bottom. So we're very quick to go to PPE and training because, well, they're cheap, they're easy, they're pretty quick, but they're not effective. So we got to get people thinking, when they find a hazard, how do we eliminate it? Okay, we tried this, we tried that, can't eliminate it. How do we reduce the hazard through substitution? So we've got to get people thinking up there, and it's hard. I've been a safety professional for 25 to 30 years. When I encounter a hazard, my first thought isn't necessarily, how do I eliminate this? So also an uphill battle, but we can get people thinking that way, or at least even if it's on the radar, but usually it isn't.
You had that in one of your quarterly trainings here a year or so ago.
Yeah, I think I talk about that all the time. I think it's really important, and yet so many people go straight to training and personal protective equipment.
Okay. We'll see you at 1:30.
Yep.
What went out that said it was council?
I had sent out an email about the safety meeting. Well, then we had to have Rochelle do it because he doesn't have me set up to actually set up a team meeting. So I took it off my calendar and it sent out that it was canceled. And then we sent out another one when Rochelle did it that said that there is one. They give the ID and passcode.
Right, last one I said, I seen you just saying that was gonna be canceled, so I was gonna run down and see what you was doing.
No, it's still there.
That's the one I saw. Was the council. I went around Fridays.
That was this morning.
Yeah.
No, but I opened it this morning. I didn't open it. When I go out home, I don't mess with all
Cool.
this here.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
In a bit.
Yep.
Good.
You want to set a time to?
Yes. Open. No. Be there, Aaron, whatever.
Well, and you'll go,
What do you want me to do with that check? Are you supposed to take that so you can deposit it? What does that mean?
Yeah, we put it in, there's a,
Or just go to Kathy?
Well, it ends up with Kathy, she needs to know where to put it. Maybe it's called.
I guess I don't know what that is. Ask
But you've seen, I've talked, everybody you ever talked about, you can't do this on a part-time job, or like we do it. I mean, it'd be a damn sure part-time job.
Did we take it there? On board, you're talking about the whole basket, is what you're saying. No.
Yeah. 2385, risk management.
Oh, it had a name on your rice. I thought it was named Debbie called us.
That's the fund. The rest of the little numbers they've always talked about, I don't know. But that's the fund I'll go into.
Okay, I'll tell Becky then,
Okay.
make sure
Yeah.
to tell Kathy that.
Yeah, about wrapped up. Let's see. Like that. Lights, I think they'll come to the office if they don't do it in 5 minutes.